It's enough of that. Another week in the books, guys. Another week of me losing. Jack, he handed it to me. 600 to 473. Not the best week for me. Jack, your highest scorer was Blackman, 96.5 points. 3 jacks. So 3 jacks for Jack. And he hit an even 500. That's pretty damn good. In comparison, my highest scorer last week was Giancarlo Stanton, who had 4 home runs, nowhere near the same point production. 57 points scored. Might have been his 261 average. Not the best, but shit happens. Jack. Kershaw. What are you going to do? What can you do losing an arm like that? Lower back pain. 4 to 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks without Kershaw. That's rough. He by far was your biggest disappointment last week. Mine is kind of a toss-up. I had Santana give up a lot of home runs against Detroit. Went a total of negative 17.5 points over like 3 innings. Something like that. And Segura for Seattle. One of my better players is definitely in a major slump. He earned me half a point. Half a point last week. Hitting for 156 average, 1 extra base hit, and 2 stolen bags. Half a point. Solid. Max and Jamie, you guys played one another. Battle of the Titans, 2 best records in this league going against one another. Jamie, you came out on top. I mean, with the week Max had, any of us would have beat him because he did earn the silver shutter. Least points scored for last week with 313.5. That's bad. That's really bad. Jamie, you scored 491.5. Max Scope was by far your best player. 79 points, 3 home runs. Decent week's worth of production. Jamie, your best was Conforto for the Mets. 4 home runs for 94 points. Solid week. Solid week. Max, your biggest disappointment, I think, is just your entire pitching staff. I mean, Christ, you had a bad pitching week. All of your guys were getting just rocked. But I think the most surprising was Scherzer gave up 3 bombs to start out the game against the Diamondbacks. First inning, 1, 2, 3. 3 bombs in a row. Back to back to back. I mean, it wasn't a terrible game, though. Ended up at negative 8 points, but that's rough. To start out the game at negative 45 or whatever that would be, it's a big mountain to climb. Jamie, your disappointment was Wood. He's been solid, a solid pitcher. But went 4 2/3, gave up 2 bombs. Negative 16.5 points. So, shit happens. I'm sorry. The next matchup we're going to talk about is Brian and Joby. Joby, I think, is just kind of done. He's just done with this shit. He's too good for fantasy baseball now. I don't know what's going on. Brian, you beat him 518 to 490. Brian, your best player was Roark. Solid pitcher for the Nats. Got you 66 points over 1 start, 7 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts. Keep that strikeout number high. You're going to have a good day. Joby Upton was your best, 74.5 points. 1 home run, 3 stolen bases. So, just a lot of singles, a lot of doubles. You did okay. Bautista, Brian, has been less than stellar. He hit for .096 was his average last week. 2.5 points. So even with that shitty average, 2.5 points. I don't know how he did it. Joby Bogarts for you, hitting $150. Half a point. Half a point. Maybe shortstops just sucked last week. Half a point. Final matchup for the week. Maggie versus Taylor. Now, this was pretty surprising. I was surprised by this. You guys should be surprised by this too. Maggie put up 620 points to Taylor's 496. Maggie won the Silver Slugger this week. Maggie. I mean, I shouldn't act so surprised. Her team's pretty good. But she did okay. Congratulations, Maggie. Proud of you. Your top scorer of the week was Lester. Got 2 starts out of him for 102.5 points. Only gave up 2 home runs with 16 strikeouts over those 2 starts. Very solid outings. Arenado, for you, Taylor, was your highest scorer with 80.5 points. But one game is what I want to talk about for Arenado. He went 5 for 6 with 3 home runs and was a triple shy of the cycle. Scored 50 points in one game. That's a good third baseman, Taylor. Maggie, I talk about your biggest disappointment, but you didn't have one. I looked. Your team was just kind of solid across the board. So we're going to talk about Waka for a second. For the Cardinals. Through 9 innings against the Mets. Allowed 3 hits and a walk with 8 strikeouts for a complete game shutout. Very impressive. Your pitching staff was solid, Maggie. Because that's 3 starts right there, all for fucking good. And Taylor, unfortunately, your biggest disappointment. I think the bulk of us are going to feel this pain because the bulk of us are Giants fans. I think Maggie is the one exception. Oh, Maggie and Jack. Jack is not a Giants fan. They're the 2 exceptions to the fact that we are all Giants fans. Samardzija, 4 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 8 hits and a walk, and only struck out 3 guys for 3 points. We need our pitching staff to do better. We need it so bad. I'm watching Bumgarner do okay against, who were we playing? The Pirates. When I left, we were up 10-0. We're just raking. Bang. Panic's hitting in the in. Pence is hitting them in. Bumgarner is getting base hits. I mean, I think we're kind of out of it for the season, but it'd be nice to end on a high note where we can win a few games. That's all I got for you. I don't know if anyone had any bets. I don't have any bets going this week. I had no bets going last week. I think some ices are owed for the home run derby bet we kind of had going. I know that was kind of a last minute thing, but I paid my dues already. I think I'm going to start charging interest on everyone else that hasn't paid. But Jamie, if you want to put something on this week, I know we're kind of deep. I've already used a couple starts, but I'd be willing to do something fun. Maybe not nice, but something else. Let me know. Think about it. Never going to give you guys up. Never going to let you down. Good night.